Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Thursday, July 12th, 2018. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations. Always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you've had a great week so far. The futures look to be starting off in the green. I'm filming this at about 7:30 on Thursday morning. So far the futures are up in a healthy manner. So with that, let's get into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start these videos off with a look at the Russell Index. Why? Because I always want to make sure that before I put a new chart forward for my watch list, I'm putting it forward in a rising market environment, and for that I use the Russell Index, or the IWM, which is the ETF for the Russell, as my proxy. So we're looking at the 5-year monthly chart. As you can see on the 5-year monthly, it's a bear chart. The only line on it is the blue, which is the 8-day EMA. I use that as my guide. When price on the Russell is up and over the 8-day EMA, on the weekly and daily, I'm adding new names to my watch list. So here's the look on the bear chart. You can see so far the candle for the month of July shaping up to have a somewhat bullish orientation. June we had bullishness, but then it shrank towards the end of the month, creating this long wick. So we're up in that area of resistance. We kind of want to be aware of that, but so far so good for the month of July. I'm going to put my drawings back in, and I'm going to adjust them a little bit. So it's getting a little cluttery for me on this chart. I am going to get rid of this black diagonal line, and I'm going to move our pink line of short-term support resistance up a little higher. But I will do that on the weekly chart. But I just wanted to declutter the chart a little bit. I like the consolidation that I saw here through these months, and then May pushed us higher, June and July. So we're going to really just focus in on this area here. These lines down here are more medium and long-term support resistance, so we're kind of ignoring them for now. So just going to get into this area here. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And I had my support, pink line of support down here, but I am going to move it up higher, and I'm going to put it, oops, daisy, see if I can do that. Nope. I'm going to delete it and redraw it. So I'll change the color on it later. It's going to be orange, but I'm going to put it right there just to tighten up our reference point. So that's the look on the weekly. As you can see, we have this nice swoop and uptrend up and over the blue 8-day EMA. A bullish candle last week. We're still up and over that blue 8-day EMA. I'm going to move it over to the daily, 6-month daily. We closed yesterday right at my 8-day EMA, but it is above. So with that, I will be adding a new name to our watch list this morning. And so with price on the Russell Index continuing to show strength, I am adding United Parcel Service, ticker symbol UPS, trades on the New York Stock Exchange, to our watch list this morning. Before I get into the chart, let me tell you a little bit more about the company. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with UPS. It's a big global package delivery company in the transportation sector. You know me at Chart of the Day Cafe. I'm all about the fundamental scores underneath my charts, and I can tell you that UPS has a really nice high value score, along with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 20%, a current PE of 15.44, and it has a dividend yield of 3.39%. So with that, let's get into the chart. We are looking at the 5-year monthly. You can see on the 5-year chart, trading a little bit sideways. It's in a gentle uptrend for the most part. But as you can see, here's my orange line of support resistance. It was resistance through all of these years where UPS traded underneath that orange line. But in the latter part of 2016, you can see it broke out, made a high up here, but it's come in to settle into an area where I think it's interesting right in here. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And there's our orange line. As you can see, it came down to touch that low, but it looks as though in a continued strong market environment, it's all about what the markets want to do overall. UPS is giving me a lift that's, or a look, I should say, that says it may want to lift in this area. So we had a doji last week. So we are making a higher high so far than this area here. And the candle so far for this week is looking to shape up to be somewhat bullish. So I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the daily. Let's go 6-month daily. And I like the lift that we saw a couple of days ago. We had, with the softness in the market yesterday, it came in, but I will be watching UPS to lift from this area right here and start moving into my little green circle. I always like to put a little green circle on the chart. So what I like about it on the daily is the number of days it's spent down here consolidating, and then we had a lift up and over my blue 8-day EMA. It's come in a little bit, so I can really define my risk reward here. I would expect UPS to start lifting right in this area and move forward through earnings. We'll see. It's all about what the market wants to do, but this look is giving me a very positive look, and I like the chart construction. Along with my new watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in. And for that, we're looking at IYT, which is the ETF for the transportation sector, 5-year monthly chart. As you can see on the 5-year monthly, it's been in this uptrend since 2016. So far in 2018, it's been kind of trading sideways and flat, consolidating, but price is up and over the 8-day EMA on the monthly chart. Let's go take a look at it on the weekly. Yeah, so it's consolidated here, had this little lift, and kind of like UPS, it looks like it's consolidating here as well and may want to lift from this area. But overall, on that big picture 5-year chart, in an uptrend and trading somewhat flat, but we would be looking for lift here in a continued strong market environment. Along with that, I also like to take a look at seasonality, and for that I go over to equityclock.com, a really amazing site. I love it. And as you can see, this is the seasonal chart for UPS. July comes into seasonal strength at this time of year, so it sort of trades a little bit flat, but then it has a nice seasonal trend through the back half of the year. No guarantee that happens again this year, but always a good data point to know. I also like to take a look at finviz.com. So we're looking at the company page for UPS, and I want to see if I've got analyst support for my new watch list pick. And as you can see, UPS has had a number of recent upgrades, so that's also good to see. There are a number of great articles listed on FinViz. I'm going to include this one with today's video, Why UPS Stock Can Rise 30%. It's from Investopedia, dated July 5th. Really interesting mentions in this article. And so to quickly recap, let's go back and check the boxes. I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall the Russell Index is in an uptrend with price currently up and over the 8-day EMA on both the daily, just ever so slightly on the daily, and weekly chart. We looked at the 5-year chart for UPS. It traded somewhat sideways for a while, but it moved up and over an area of support resistance and is now resting in an area where we might see some possible price strength continuation. Emphasis on possible, but with those scores in a rising market, I wouldn't be too surprised to see UPS lift here. We looked at the 5-year chart for the transportation sector, which UPS is a part of, and note that it's in an uptrend on the 5-year, been trading a little bit flat for the last several months, but still up and over the 8-day EMA on the monthly chart. UPS has a great value score, a great growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 20%, current dividend yield of 3.39%. I don't have this box checked because it does not have a 3 and 8 EMA daily cross, which I look for, but it's ever so close. It's got seasonality in its favor, analyst support, a current PE of 15.42, and it looks as though earnings are on July 26th. As a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Tuesday.